I'm outside, so I'm just trying to be quiet because I don't know. I'm just trying to be quiet. I'm outside. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's a really pretty day outside. Well, here in Texas it is, and I just wanted to check in with everybody, see everybody's doing okay. Um, yeah, the energy has been really weird lately. I don't know if anybody has felt it or if it's just me, but yeah, I just I feel honestly, I feel like a lot of the things, how we have situations and things going on in our life, and if you're spiritual, you know what it is, right? If you're spiritual, there's a lot of like, of course, like witchcraft and stuff going on, but things are changing now. It's the air feels a lot lighter. It feels a lot nicer actually. It feels actually nice outside, and so yeah, I just want to tell everybody hi. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Um, so yeah, I was just here. I was here, and I said, okay, let me get on TikTok real quick because it's just I've just been feeling a lot better. There's been a lot of things going on in my life that I've just been trying to like cope with, and at the same time figure out how to deal with them. Every day I get up and I read, my Bible, the Quran, and yet, hi Anna, I'm okay, thank you. Um, so I just try to like do the best I can, right, with what I have. It's just I try to like tell people every day, like there's some people that come around to my friends and they'll just be talking to her and they'll be telling about a lot of the situations they're going through, and I try to let them know, like, it could be worse, because I know I've gone through a lot of other stuff that's, so if we're here and say we're here and we're talking on TikTok, or we're right here, if you see me, then I'm fine, then you're fine. If you could see me, then you're doing good too, right? But we have to understand that. See, I used to be the type that always rushed to get things done, and it's really divine timing. It's in God's timing. It's not in our timing. And there's so many things that once I woke up to my spiritual, where I got my spiritual awakening, I had a lot of things going on with me where I was. At first, thought I was tripping, like, okay, this is not real, and then I thought, okay, well, what is it, And I would get these little messages, that, and I started getting dreams. A lot of dreams, I get these dreams and they end up playing out, right here, out here in the 3D. So, a lot of that happened after I started sobering up, because when I wasn't, when I wasn't sober, I wouldn't dream, or if I dreamed, they'd be like nightmares, right? Um, and now it's like I have dreams, and I have just things that play out. A lot of them play out. A lot of them are dreams and stuff that haven't even played out yet, but a lot of them have. There's a lot of people that were doing, I don't know, I guess you could say witchcraft or whatever they're doing, because everybody needs to understand that, like I tell people, like, we're spiritual before we're flesh. And the people that, whatever their beliefs are, even if you're religious, right? The thing is that if you're religious, you believe in a spirit because you believe in God. Well, you need to understand that we're spirit first, right? Because, of course, we come from the Creator. And I try to tell people, okay, well then, if you believe in God and you believe there's a spirit, something we can't see, and then obviously you believe in witchcraft and all that stuff, because people send energies to other people, especially if they're trying to do bad. You have to understand that that's real. It's called spiritual warfare. And people don't believe in that. They like, well, if I don't believe it, it's out of sight, out of mind. And that's not true. That's not true. I mean, and then you wonder if you're having a hard time in your life. You're wondering why. Well, that's why, because you're not believing it, but yet it's happening. We also have like ancestor things going on. Like a lot of our ancestors from back in the day, we have curses that, we have to try to, break our, spiritual, our lineage, our curses. Like a lot of our lineages, we have curses on us from way back, generations and generations ago, right? Well, right now is a time where we need to start to break them, right? And it's hard because a lot of people will ask, like, how do you break your curses? Well, first of all, you don't conform to a man out of being taken care of, or because you want someone to take care of you, and don't conform to, vices, you know what I mean? Like, you got to release and detach from all the worldly things, and that's really the truth. Money and power and cars and all that's not going to, when you pass away, you're not taking that with you. God wants you to start cleansing yourself from the inside out, right? And I say this all the time when I come out on here. I say it all the time because a lot of people think that just because they go to church, or just because they pray or they talk to God, that's it. It goes beyond that. You also have to look inside yourself. It's also about yourself. Our like our temple, the temple, God's temple. It's our vessel. You know what I mean? Because God lives inside of us, right? Each of us, a part of Him lives inside of us, not outside of us. Inside us, right? So us honoring our temple is also honoring Him, and we have to treat our temple as such. So like I tell people, like when they say no, well, I go to church and I do this and that, but you have to be, like really be like with it from the inside out, right? I mean, in the sense of like trying to do your best. Like, okay, I know the vices is one thing, like doing the party favors, and that's one thing, right? Having a clean vessel. And then another thing is how you treat other people. The third thing is your belief. Do you believe in the unknown? Do you believe in the stuff you can't see? Do you believe in a higher power? But your higher power is inside of you, okay? That's God activated inside you. And the thing is, a lot of people are like, no, God's on the outside. God isn't up in the air. He's not. He's in here. You know what I mean? And even if you're religious, or you're whatever the case is, you believe in something. Obviously, you believe in a spirit, right? The Most High, right? The Creator of all. He's a spirit, and He came. You can't see Him, right? But because He's in here. I just try to make people understand that God isn't on the outside. God's on the inside. You just have to activate Him. The Holy Spirit, you have to activate Him. He walks with us. He walks with us everywhere. He's everywhere with us. I just want to come on here just to let everybody know that if you were being spiritually attacked, the attacks have stopped. Y'all got to know that, because God is starting to make things right. As of right now, He's dealing with people that have been doing dark magic, who have been doing spells, and I didn't know about this, but people actually do that. There's actually covens that people get together in groups and, sacrifice. I'm not going to say sacrifice. Sorry, my bad. I don't want to get cut off from TikTok. They unalive. They unalive. They unalive. Animals, and they do things that you only see like on 48 hours and stuff like that. Get out of the way, baby. It's my cat. It's my cat, baby Kitty. She's being necia. Anyway, so I didn't know until before I had my spiritual awakening. I didn't know that was. I did not even think that was. I never even thought about it. That people actually have covens. I thought that was just all in the movies. You know what I mean? I thought that was just a whole bunch of like, no, that's not real. But you know what? Movies come from somewhere. They start from somewhere. And you see, the thing about, I've come to find out that they have to tell you. That's why we have all these movies that we see. A lot of them are based on actual truth. And what they do is they have to tell you before they sacrifice, before they unalive you in some way or form, whether it be spiritually, emotionally, or physically, right? They have to tell you, so they put it out in the movies. So y'all gotta, like, every time y'all look at the movies, just look at them, and a lot of them are stemmed from things that have happened in real life, and they let you know what's going on. But a lot of people think, oh, that's not real, it's fiction, it's not true and this and that. But a lot of it is based on truth. A lot of it is based on truth. And people don't really, they're like, they think it's just, it's a movie. A lot of these movies are based on truth. There's a lot of people that I can tell you this right now are actually reaping what they sowed. Right now people are under judgment. um I've been feeling like a lot lighter, like the last, I would say, maybe month or so, because I can feel the weight of it lifting off where people were doing what they were doing, but it stopped because I've been rested assured that God is taking care of it. I'm protected by the Most High God. And if if you're on the right side, right? You have the right side. You have the right side and the wrong side, right? Light and dark. you're protected. If you're going through some issues and it can either be karma, and people could be paying for the karma from past lives too. You know what I mean? It really depends on how much karma you had from your past lives. I don't know, but I can honestly say that a lot of the 144 that I know of, a lot of us are coming into peace. If you're not at peace, you'll be coming into peace soon, and it's not going to be so. You're not going to feel so heavy. You're not going to feel so confused, and because I was feeling really down for a while. You know what I mean? And I know that they weren't my thoughts. I know that they weren't my feelings. That's why I know that that stems from somebody outside. And like I tell people, like I'm real big on words. Like people do understand spells. Words or spells. A prayer. That's a spell, but it's a ritual. I call them rituals. Those are good. But then people can sit there and cuss you out and speak out, your name and say things, and you know what I mean. It's all behind the intention as well. If you have intentions bad for someone, like say you have bad intentions for somebody, and you're there and you start cooking, right? Cooking some food. Say you start cooking some food and you're like really upset, and while you're cooking, you're like talking smack, right? And you're cooking the food, and then you're gonna make it to that person you're upset with. That also, you're making the spell inside. You're throwing the spell inside the food, right? Let's put it like that. See, there's a lot of things that what I mean. You just gotta be careful with the things you say. If you're not trying to do anybody wrong, or you're not trying to wish anybody bad. But people are reaping what they sow right now. You can either be feeling peace or feeling anguish, right? And I choose peace. So I just do my best, you know what I mean, to live every day as the Most High God would want me to live, as well as try to treat others the way I want to be treated. And I know me growing up, I wasn't getting treated very well. I used to be a people pleaser, because I always thought, okay, well, this person needs this, and maybe if I did this, I used to think that if I helped other people, that was what God wanted. Not true. God wants you to take care of yourself first. You have to be, emotionally and physically okay before you can help anybody else, right? It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just really, it's difficult, when you don't really, especially if you don't have anybody like me. My whole life, basically, I raised myself, you know what I mean? I had to teach myself things. I had to do things on my own. Growing up, basically, I feel like I raised myself. I have a family that lives here in the same city I'm in, but I don't really talk to anybody because they don't talk to me for whatever reason. They're upset with me from 15, 20 years back. They're still upset with me, and you know what I mean? I'm sober. I live a good life. I do the best I can for myself. You know what I mean? But my family still has that separation from me, and that's fine. I'm not worried about it. I used to be worried about it. I used to, share my life and tap the screen. I used to be worried about it. You know what I mean? But I'm not anymore. I'm grateful that I'm able to be by myself long enough to know and have God speak to me and let me know exactly what's going on. I'm grateful to God. I really am. I don't know if y'all can see it on the outside, but there's things going on behind the scenes. There are systems crumbling. There are people going to prison. There are people, and you know who they are. You'll know who your oppressors are. By right now, as we speak, they're going through some kind of suffrage. Like somebody will be unalived, sick, broken-hearted. You know what I mean? Homeless. All of those things that you see people going through now is because they're something that they've done either to you or somebody else. Because right now is a time where God is You know, he's laying the smack down on people, put it that way. And I'm just grateful that I'm grateful that I'm awakened. And it's hard to go through the dark night of the soul, or shadow work, or whatever you want to call it. It's something. Let me tell you, it's to sit there and be alone and figure out, okay, why am I going through this? What's going on? What's going on? Well, it's because we start to see that like we have to be there and sit with ourselves and reflect on what we've done, right? Reflect on how our lives are going, and reflect on everything, our past, what we've done to others as well as ourselves, what we put ourselves through, who we let take advantage of us, and also reflect on the people, how they treated us. If that was, you look at it now, like, did I deserve that? Like, what did I do? Why did that? You start to think and contemplate about everything and you start thinking, and then you start becoming really one-on-one with your higher power. You really start getting serious in that, and you start saying, like, creative all, or God, or whatever your higher power is, and you start, like, when you start talking to him. Believe me, when you're going through the night of the soul, and you're at that point where you're like at the end, and you don't know what to do anymore, and you finally surrender, God starts to show you what you need to get rid of, what you need to do, say, how you need to start behaving, what you need to start opening up your heart to, what you need to start releasing and letting go, what you need to start blocking, how you need to start thinking, how you need to start catching yourself from things or people or places outside of you that are hindering you, right? And that's the truth. I mean, when I figured out, like, when I started listening, right, more and more, like, sit down and actually listen, I come to figure out, like, you know what, all these people that you come around or you hang around with, all these people that you talk to, they're what are you getting out of them? Are they helping you? What are they doing for you? You're spending all your time and your energy with all these people, but they're not giving you anything back. And they either want your hand to help them do something, or bring them something, but they don't give you anything back. So for a long time, I used to be the type that I would just sit there and I would just, like, okay, let's do this, I'll do this, like a pendeja. Okay, that means an idiot. I would sit there and give. And it wasn't necessarily financial. A lot of it was emotional. A lot of it was psychological. A lot of it was my time. A lot of it was my energy. A lot of it was like, honestly, like, my wisdom and my way how to maneuver through problems that other people had, because I'm really good at problem solving, and I'm really good at I'm really good at figuring stuff out. You know what I mean? Because, like, I tell everybody, well, there's always a way. There's always a way. There's always a way to get through something. Always. Now, it's not always going to be pain-free, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We all have to go through the dark before we get to the light. All of us. We have to learn lessons in our lives. We have to, because that's how we build ourselves up stronger. Because if we go through all this stuff, and it might be the crappiest thing in the world, because I've gone through a lot of things. Right now, like, I'm at peace. I'm just waiting on God, but I am at peace because I know what's going on. No one's came to me in the physical and apologized to me, talked to me about anything. But you know what? I know everything that's going on. I know about all the people that robbed me. I know about all the people that were trying to unalive me. I know about the insurance. I know about the insurance fraud. I know about the fake marriage under my name. I know about people taking away my housing. I know about all this stuff. And I know this because God gives me intuition and discernment. I get prophetic dreams. Yes, I do. So all you people out there that think that I don't know, I know everything. It's just a matter of time before all of y'all go to jail. And you know what? It's God's will. And I'm just saying it because it is what it is. There's going to be, and it's not just me. it's also the other 144 that were in the dark for so long because they were also being oppressed by their oppressors, by their handlers, if you want to call them handlers. They also, because this is way back, centuries back. Everything was already, they already know who we are. They know who the chosen are before they're even born or when they're born, you know what I mean? And they're already marked. And so what they do is through their whole life, the children that are people that are chosen, their whole life they go through, traumatic, they have a traumatic life because the oppressors are trying to oppress them. They try to keep them homeless and disheveled and, disarray and just, hoping that they would unalive themselves or whatever. And that's where they get their energy. Celebrities, religious leaders, government officials. I mean, you name it, occults, organizations, religious leaders. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's exempt. You know how you have good people in every aspect of an organization? You have bad people in every aspect of an organization as well. Don't get that twisted because you do. Okay? So I'm just letting you know you can have some good people in the code and bad people in the code. You can have some good people in government. You also have bad people in government. You know what I mean? It's the spirit inside the vessel. It's not the vessel. It's not the whole organization. So right now we're doing that. Right now, as what I know, the Most High has told me it's a domino effect going on. Little by little, it's trickling down. Everybody's falling like dominoes. From the higher, I think it's going from the nobodies to the flunkies to the whatevers, and it's just domino effect. Everybody's going down. All the government officials, the dark cult organizations, religious organizations, celebrity organizations. So it's just, and even the nobodies that thought they weren't controlled, the flunkies that do all the work for the higher. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just, like the steps, like dominoes going down steps. Like it's gonna be the boss, supervisor, manager, crew leader, employee. You know what I mean? It's just the same thing. They're rankings of dark forces that are going down like deer. It's a domino effect. It is what it is, and everybody can sit there and say, "Oh, I don't know." They're not gonna. People don't want to be. Don't as right now as we speak, no one wants to make it known that either any celebrity or government official or anybody in power, they don't want to point out that, oh, I'm losing my house, or my wife is DEAD, or I have a DRUG problem, or I'm real sick, I have a terminal illness, or what I mean. They're not going to say that to you because they're trying to save face, but the masks are coming off anyway. It doesn't even matter, because it's time. We're changing positions now. The first will be the last, and the last will be the first. We're going to be the first. We are royalty. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We're here to uplift not just the people that have been oppressed for so long, also our ancestors from many, 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 many lifetimes as well. They were oppressed by, the powers and the people here that were ruling this, 3D realm. Spiritual, like I said, spirituality got cut off once people started throwing shiny things at other people, and started buying them off with money and power, and along the way we forgot what our spirituality was, our ancestors, the Most High God, and that's what it is. They keep us, like I said, they keep us busy with material things, with working like dogs and material things, so that we won't see the true picture, which is our spirituality, and that if we just seek the Most High God and His kingdom, and His righteousness, all will be added to us. And it's really true. It truly is. And a lot of people will sit there and like, no. The thing about it with people is that with God, He shows you patience in His purpose for you, as well as what He's going to give you, right? Which is everything you could possibly ask for. But it's patience is the key, because it's not going to be in our time. It's going to be in God's timing. You know, people that want it right away, they don't know how to wait on God. Therefore, they make their own moves, and then they start getting themselves in debt with worldly things, and then with people that, and it just goes on and on and on, right? When you leave your trust in God, and I'm not gonna lie, I still up to this very day I have a little. I have some. I'm working on my patience, but other than that, I mean, I know God is good, and I just rely on Him. I'm a patient person, especially if it's for God, because God's way is a lot better than the quick way. The quick way, usually you have debt, not this lifetime, but and the next maybe. So I'm just, I just wanted to come out here and talk to everybody and to see how everybody was doing, and to let everybody know that you want to stay rested up. If you are spiritual and you are one of the 144, or if you're even a follower of the Most High God, I mean, there's always going to be spiritual warfare, but if anybody has targeted you, like with any kind of, dark magic or whatever, it's pretty much coming to a head already, and you can start breathing and you can start relaxing, because you know, um, God's doing He's doing what He has to do to protect us, and so we could be able to be more comfortable and sleep at night, guys. And so I just wanted to come out here and just let everybody know that God is good, and just drink your water, rest when you can, meditate, of course, go out in nature, just, if you have, always take care of yourself first before you take care of anybody else. And just try to do something good for somebody, or at least try to. Every day you can't. I know every day people are busy and it's not always like, but if you put God first, He'll show you the way. He really, really will. He will show you the way, like, most definitely. And okay, well, anyway, so with that being said, just everybody stay safe and pray, do affirmations, and just know that the divinity within is within. Okay, He's not outside, He's inside. So, you know what I mean? All of us have divinity, and just to know that we're all royalty if we choose to be. We choose to walk in our purpose. If we choose to walk in our purpose, and that means you got to break free from every worldly thing. Like, seriously, seriously, if you want to live in your purpose, you gotta detach from the worldly things, and you know what I mean. So, okay, well, I hope you all have a beautiful night. Y'all stay safe, and I love you guys.